YouTube channel near you.
Welcome, everybody. Nice to see you on a Monday afternoon, broadcasting live from Indianapolis, Indiana. Hello there. I'm getting an echo there. Is that from you, Lady Liane? Can you hear me? Let's see if we can turn this off here. You got a little echo there, Lady Liane. Is it on your end?
I'm not hearing any.
Uh-oh. Do you have another program open, Lady Liane?
I've got... No, let me shut my Safari completely off and then see if that helps. Is that better? Did it stop?
Testing.
Did it stop? So now the only thing I have open is this. I can hop out and hop back in if you want.
No, let's see here. I think they got it. Yeah. So welcome, everybody. Broadcasting live from Indianapolis, Indiana. And this is Lady Liane Curtis. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you doing? Thanks so much for having me back on.
Yes. This is your show, all about you. So introduce yourself and tell everybody what we are doing today.
Wow, it's kind of like a, not to be inappropriate, wet dream for an athlete or older child. It's all about me? Really? Me?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, perfect. Let's see. Well, I don't know. Let's see. What am I doing? I'm a spirit and a body having a human holiday. So let's start there.
Isn't that the truth, right? It's
glorious.
wonderful.
Like, I'm not being flipped. That's the good news. Like, I identify with spirit and being that and being energy and vibration and I think really honestly when I started doing that, it kept me from going mentally ill any further into the abyss that like I was in back decade ago.
I think a lot of people need to understand about that, because when I started doing that a few years ago, it actually changed my life. It really turned me around to a 360. How would you explain that to people about frequency and vibrations?
Well, I feel like in martial arts, when you're in a front stance, you're at 51 weight in the front, at 49 weight in the back. And when you shift to a back stance, it's a 2-degree shift from 49 in the front or from 49 in the back to 51 in the back. And then you're at 49. So like even a teeny tiny shift in how we see things, a tiny shift in how we identify ourselves, meaning the day I stopped identifying with, I'm an actress. Well, what does that require? Trying to figure out what they want, like, which already sets you fragmented from your true self. Like, there's a difference between playing a role and trying to change who you are so you'll get the part. Like, it's fine line, dude. And so when it comes to, explaining it, it's just a tiny shift in how we identify. Are you going to identify to, I'm a mom and all the problems that come with it? Do you have what my friend calls the Sunday scaries? I was like, what the hell is that? She said, I'm thinking about all the things I have to do next week. So you're purposely thinking about something and framing it in a manner that makes you anxious. Right. And then you take a fucking Klonopin, no judgment. It's just, if you really go even just very neutral about it, it doesn't make sense. Just stop setting yourself up in the first place.
And I think that's the problem. I think everybody sets themselves up. They worry about so much about tomorrow and about the problems that it's not even existing.
Well, and that's identifying with who you are, not what you are. You're a spirit.
Right.
having a human holiday, and you're expanding in the experience that you are creating. And you can create an experience that you don't like by really thinking about what you really don't want. That just gets it in your face faster, in my experience here for 59 years. Like, nobody has to listen to me, but it's just what I know from being in this avatar.
See, I'm glad you said that, because a lot of people, exactly what it is. It is an avatar, and we change it. It seems like some people change it daily. Is that not true?
Well, I feel like first of all, we have to probably define avatar. For me, avatar is like the physical body, Liane, the personality, Liane. Like, my awareness isn't my body. My awareness creates my body. Like, some people want to say spirit lives in your body. I choose to see it the other way. My body lives in my spirit. And that's, again, like, if you just flip stuff, if you change one word in your vocabulary, if you change the definition of who you are, like, again, like, you are enough. Why are you enough? Because you were born, because you iterated. That's why you're enough. You're never going to be more spiritual than you are by nature. Whether you're in this body, that body, you're a giraffe, you're a tree, it's all spirit projecting itself into a tangible experience. And so I think where the confusion happens for a lot of people is confusing the physical experience with being the only reality. The idea that our species has not been educated in the knowledge of the quantum, the entanglement. Like, you can teach this at a 2-year-old level, at a 59-year-old level. The idea has not been incorporated into our knowing is kind of a travesty, like the species really needs to be given a chance to understand itself and not be led by the nose, but a lot of people, that scares people, a lot of people, it's, oh gosh, let me look. It was a post that I saw, and it's not like I'm trying to make intellect what we bow down to. That was bad English. My mother's ready to kill me. But it says, psychologist Stanley Milgram found that 80% of the population do not have the psychological or moral resources to defy an authority's order, no matter how illegitimate the order is. That means 20% of us have a critical thinking capacity.
Oh, wow.
Well, so if that's the case, then it goes back to what my mom used to say. God bless her. Schools are purposely teaching children what to think, not how to think. And if you teach generation after generation after generation what to think, the muscle of how to think becomes completely flaccid. And then you have a bunch of people who don't know any better. Like, and when you don't know that you don't know, you're a dangerous motherfucker, especially if you're mean. And we got a lot of people out there who are not, again, IDing to I'm spirit. Like, does a spirit go and slash another spirit across the face on the subway? Like, if we ID'd to who we were, I think the capacity to behave in an inhuman way toward one another would diminish greatly, truly.
Yeah, I agree with that. Absolutely.
So by design, it's been left out. What's the end game? Does it matter what the end game is if everybody wakes up and shifts that tiny little bit to identify with who they are, not the adjectives we use to describe ourselves or that others use to describe us in their stories of us, which are basically what they've filtered through their own whatever, and then project themselves back onto the idea of you, which then that's when you have people going, oh my God, he's such a whatever,
Right.
It's like, oh, no. okay, if you still really want to be that, like, and spend your time thinking about what somebody is instead of consciously creating your next steps. Like, when I'm consciously creating my next step, I don't have time to think about all that crap. Who has time when you're writing a song, when you're trying to open up to allow information through you so that you can digest it and then spit it back out to make yourself understand yourself more, right? And going through a day in that modality is so much more pleasant.
No, I totally agree with you, but I think that society has implemented things to make us be restricted. I think.
I think society is a victim of the restriction being imposed upon it, but that's been going on for a really
Yes.
long time. The day
Yes.
they separated science and spirituality and made our five senses rule the world as we know it,
Right.
and poo-pooing all the things you can't see, which are directly connected, and you cannot be, it's an inextricable connection. So why you're just looking at this and then saying, well, it's not there because I can't see it. Like, what? No, come on. Just stop. Stop. Look, listen to something besides. But we have all kinds of other weird stuff going on. Electromagnetic pulses. We've got all the conspiracy stuff that's based in some truth, So, like, I have no idea working knowledge, but I know society is being pummeled by something, and as soon as something is sold to us as for our convenience, run.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we've been suppressed for so long
that we don't even know it feels normal. That's the problem. It feels
absolutely
normal. Right. So normalizing like I say in my Alien song, the unknown is my friend. Where'd I get that? Like, technically I got it from Joe Dispenza, but like, really, it goes back to Joseph Campbell. People don't want to live. They want to feel alive. How do you feel alive? By experiencing the unknown. You don't feel alive doing the same fucking thing every day over and over and over, wondering why your life doesn't change. Like, it takes a lot of courage to step out of the mainstream, David Icke, you want to laugh at him, you want to say he's extreme, but a lot of the things he says, like, I spent all day listening to Nassim Haramein being interviewed on the Know Thyself podcast, one of my favorite podcasts, Know Thyself. I mean, not a lot of people have the luxury of 3 hours of just wandering around their apartment listening to these things,
right,
trying to establish some kind of coherent relationship to self. Like, you can only love something else as well and as much as you can love yourself. Like, the love I can show for myself, to the degree I can show myself that love, is to the degree I can spread it. So when I'm busy, my mom was such a fucking control freak. She drove me nuts. I can't say I wasted a lot of time, but if I have a conscious choice, like after a mind wipe, if I can sort of remember, it's like, oh, okay, can you remember who you are from the time you're little and model something and not succumb to what's traumatizing and all that other stuff? Like, maybe there'll come a day, maybe there'll come a reiteration of self, where I can remember all that. Like, and that doesn't mean I'll have nowhere to go. Like, if I'm not saying I want to be born arrived, but I'd like to be born understanding, understanding at a level that I don't have to say, oh, if I only knew what I know now, then.
Yeah, we all say
I'd
that.
live a life and not say that, because
right.
I did remember.
Right. Yeah, we say that. I say that.
Well, who doesn't? But that's part of the society programming. It's like, you did know back then. You probably knew more and knew better back then than you do now. What you think you know now and should have known back then, is it really just the indoctrination layer.
Yeah.
If I knew now what I remembered back then, if I had been able to hold on to what I knew while I was still inside my mom's tummy, like, I feel like I never really let go of it. There must have been some strand that stayed connected. Otherwise, I would not have had the visual in my mind in that nanosecond of a nebula when I said, who am I? Where do I come from? What is all this? And why am I me? Flash of a nebula. And I'd feel so much better in that instant. Then it would go away, and then I would feel so left behind again. But, you know, the left behind feeling, it's something that I'm still working with. You know, how many people have I worked with in my career, like in my 3D world, that have taken off to stardom? And like, here I am, I'm still sitting here. Like, what the fuck is that about? Well, maybe because you're trying to be somebody to get the job instead of just honoring your true self and your DNA and all the fuckery you came from and all the beautiful things you came from as a whole thing of where you came from through.
But my question is like I talk to everybody, how do we fix this? What direction are we going?
By consciously making a choice to understand heart space, which is different from your heart chakra. Your heart space can get blown wide open if you're identifying with the right thing, which means you're foundationally more coherent than the guy, you know, and it's going to make you different from your neighbor until it doesn't. Like, you know, wiping the mud off my potato, 100th monkey. Well, maybe it's not 100. Maybe it's 100,000. Maybe it's 1,000,000 people need to shift that little bit so that others feel brave enough to do it, you know? Because it takes a lot of courage to break from the indoctrination. It takes a lot of courage to be not understood by all of your friends. It takes a lot of courage to wake up every day not knowing who's going to make fun of you or just be apathetic or just be so weirded out by who you are organically that they can't deal, so they'd just rather not talk to you at all. It's like it really sets the people apart who Denise.
Yeah, exactly right.
Like, honestly, I've discovered, I mean, I was somebody who could not sit still. I couldn't be home alone. I felt bad that my cat at the time, Clamhead, his name was Chanel at that time still. My ex-husband renamed him Clamhead because he decided that he looked more like a clamhead than a Chanel. You know, my two gay friends, Michael and David, had named him Chanel, of course. So whatever. Anyway, so I'd leave Chanel alone and I'd feel guilty. Like here, like my friends, I'll leave my cat all by itself because I need to feed some inability to sit still or be with myself long enough. So I'm just out at friends' houses all the time, just distracting myself. Like it was way before social media happened and we could all sit there and do it like 8 inches from our own faces.
Right.
Like what? Oh. Anyway, so, you know, it really takes a lot to be able to look at yourself and admit, allow yourself to look at yourself and then allow yourself to not judge the behavior and then allow yourself to choose whether it feels good. And if it doesn't, then allow yourself to make a different choice and experience something. And, you know, we're neuroplastic. We can wire and fire and fire and wire different synapses, like
right.
things, emotion, thought, energy and motion, what we focus on, it's where the energy goes. Am I saying be some like disconnected person that goes tra la la, the world is beautiful and all there is love?
Yeah.
No,
right.
not what I'm saying. Wow. I'm saying there's shitty stuff out there, but approaching it with a strong sense of love and remembering who you are. Like I'm in the process of trying to forgive somebody right now for being so stuck in their program that it negatively affected a couple of living beings, you know, and I people this is where society is sick, where good people do really shitty things because they're too busy feeding their programs. Because it's like an addiction. Cigarettes, guilt,
It is.
anxiety. They're just as much addictions as cigarettes, but you can't see these things. You don't pick up an anxiety and eat it. Like, so there's
Right.
no, where are the resources? Like, and everybody's mental health goes back to, like, they're dealing with all of these symptoms. Nobody's dealing with the root problem. You know, you tell somebody they're crazy long enough and they'll live up to it.
They always do.
Right. So,
Yeah.
you know, that's where words become very important. And I'm very guilty of slinging words completely carelessly toward myself, like how you speak of yourself. You know, for laughs, I'll say things like, I'm some crazy, you know, nut job. It's like, well, really? No. I'm somebody who's like not conventional and says wacky stuff for fun. That's a much different vibration than describing myself as crazy.
Yeah, but everybody wants to fit in. That's the problem with society, I think, as well.
That's also more, who told you that you had to fit in with outside? Like, that's
Right.
pathological. That's where we get sick. Like, being so addicted to fitting into some outside something. Like, if you're so busy fitting in, then how are you not creating situations in which you don't fit in to mindfuck? We're creators, man. Like, I hear self-fulfilling prophecy. Like, so why not harness it? Why not harness it? If you're doing it unconsciously, why not harness it?
Yeah, I'd rather fit into my box instead of somebody else's boxes that they make. So,
You know, I mean, yes, if your box is something that's coherent for you, that makes sense, that allows you to stay a happy, high vibing person no matter what the situation, which you seem to be, like, you're always so happy no matter.
I am.
Right.
You know, somebody asked me today, they're like, do you eat gummies?
Is there something wrong with you? It's like, no, there's something wrong with society taking sides all the time. So we can just
Yeah.
argue about, like, more distractions, more. It's like there's so many layers of distraction. Am I saying that the world could, you know, stand to do an international, I keep forgetting what you call it, like the technical term for it, and I'm gonna offend somebody, but as my father said, like, a life well lived is not a life where you've never offended anyone. If I don't offend anybody, I'm not
That's
doing my
true.
job. Well,
That's
you
true.
know, so like the 10-day thing where you just go to the place and you don't talk, I call it the shut the fuck up asana, because I can never remember what it's called. But like, if there were some force that would cause every single human being to shut the fuck up, and for the first 48 hours, like, we're so disconnected from ourselves. Like, can anybody right now in the audience close your eyes and breathe normally? Are you feeling the breath coming from your nostrils on your top lip? How desensitized are you to your breath? Like, do you know it's there?
I don't think anybody ever feels that. I don't think they have.
Well, but you're demonstrating my point. So the first 48 hours of the shut the fuck up asana is like no talking. Feel your breath coming from your, like, and then after a while of stillness, silence, and whatever, or feeling like you're about to go mad because if you can't say something, like, you're gonna pop, whatever it is you go through, you start feeling your breath on your top lip, and then you're like, oh, okay, you know, I've never done one. So, like, I'm not speaking from a working knowledge of the shut the fuck up asana. I would like to. Like, I suppose I could do it, like, and just self shut up for 10 days and just tell people, just don't even call me for 10 days because I'm not. You know, I suppose I could. Why not?
But, you know, I think if a lot of people would do that, I think that would change a lot of perspectives. And I think people will see things in a different light.
And okay, so if we're projecting and creating with our projections, if you see something in a different light, then you're projecting a different light spectrum. right? Like
Right.
if you see
Yeah.
something
No, you're
differently,
right. You're right.
you're
Yeah.
not. Okay. So there again, it's a tiny shift. It's not really doesn't take that long to feel your breath and then move on and concentrate on your breath or concentrate on nothing and then be nothing and nowhere. Like you can't do that if you're crossing the street. You'll get hit by a car. So
Right.
not the time and a place for everything, guys. We're still in 3D. Like we're still, but for me, it's like, why not use what we have to have fun instead of kill each other or like hating somebody and holding the poison and hoping they die. Like it's just so nuts. It makes no sense. It's not linear. It makes no sense.
Right. It
So I
doesn't. Little Twisted says if people could read each other's minds, all thoughts would change.
well, funny you mentioned that. A little twisted because we are a psionic species. What does that mean? Every time you've answered the phone and gone, oh my God, I was just thinking about you. Like
Right.
it's a flaccid muscle, man. You want that shit like that. Decalcify your pineal gland. Like if everybody in the whole wide world knew what a pineal gland was, where it was, how to activate it, what it does, how to use it, I can guarantee you that all organized religions would shut down in a week because nobody needs a middleman to the nothing and the nowhere and the creator. That's what the
It's true.
pineal
That is
gland
actually
is.
true.
It's what it is. So the day they came in and started controlling the masses with some idea of you've got to praise something outside of you, and if you're good, it'll reward you, and if you're bad, it'll put you in the hellfire. Like, how abusive is that? If your parent did that to you, they'd get hauled off by the Department of Children's Services. So why the fuck are religions allowed to do that to people?
Yeah.
And are they based in some truth? Yeah, but it's been perverted for the use of mass control. Now, my grandma and grandpa used to have fights, apparently. I knew my grandma. I didn't know my grandpa, but he was an atheist. That's why my great grandfather had him sent from Russia to America because he was reading democratic literature to the peasants who were illiterate. And so if they caught him doing that, they would whack him. So you got to go now. So he came over here, atheist as hell. Also, he was the oldest child, and the oldest child in a Jewish family back then, and maybe still today, you become the rabbi. Well, great grandpa said, hey, Sam, I know, and your sister knows, and your mother still thinks you're going to rabbinical school. It would kill her. Bye. So because of that, he thought he had been disowned. So there's a chip on the shoulder, atheist. He's here in America and, looking around going, wow, in this place, you can sell shit for perfume in this place and nobody knows the difference. Like, so if you're hearing that out of an adult's mouth in the 1910s and 20s, you can guarantee yourself people were just as distracted from whatever back then and identifying with what they were doing and the adjectives by which they were described by others, and totally out of touch with anything esoteric, philosophical, or whatever, and the people who were able to still function and think, Ralph Waldo Emerson, like all these guys, the New Thought people, Ernest Holmes, Like I feel like Joe Dispenza is a 2024 kind of Ernest Holmes, trying to get people's feet gently back into the pedals, because the bicycle's going all over the place and our feet are going and so are our arms. Like just get your feet back on the pedal. Focus on your breath. Remember who you are. Stop IDing with what you are. Like, oh, such a tiny little shift makes such a huge difference. I promise. Try it. You'll like it. Maybe.
I think we need to go back to core values. I think what you're saying is totally feasible and possible.
Right.
But
people have to give them some permission.
Convince everybody that.
You can't convince anybody. You can't. You can just model it. You can do it yourself and have people wonder why, when World War III is about to happen, we're still laughing and feeling okay and feeling happy and joyful and able to give love and receive love and be creators and consciously monitor what we're thinking and how we're feeling to make sure like that needle doesn't go below a certain frequency. Like, you know, everything correlates in this world. The Earth's frequency is like 538, 528 hertz, like hertz and hertz, like the 432 and the 440, and like all of this
Right.
stuff. It all makes a difference, you know. I haven't played with sand on a speaker yet, but like,
That's pretty awesome.
yeah, exactly. I've seen it. So, you know, people want to discount sound. They want to say it's woo woo. They want to say, oh, you know, you can't heal people with sound. It's like, yeah, you know, you get the right frequency. You could probably break up all the cancer cells and send them packing. But, you know, that upsets people. It upsets the ego of the industry. Like, each individual has an ego. Like Graham Hancock's pissing people off right and left because their arrogance at wanting to be right, and then having their ideas debunked somehow makes them inferior. It's like, no, you're enough. Why? Because you're here. You're thinking and you're feeling. You're enough. Because something you were thinking is now altered or shifted a little bit. Like this inability to shift based on identity crisis. If you shift, if I'm not what I do, then who am I? It's something I
Right.
can't see. We're in a world that only looks at things they can see. And if it doesn't, you can't see it. It can't exist. Better keep my head down and just go my 9 to 5 and not bring attention to myself. Like, what?
Yeah.
Wow. Really?
Yeah, I think that's the biggest problem we have in society. And I think that snowballs, and I think it's very contagious. And I think that's what's wrong with society and the world today, is what you just said in a nutshell.
Yeah. You know, it's like the wallet, then the ego. Well, where'd the wallet come from? Who made up money? Why is it transactional in the first place? So, you know, I don't know. The money, yeah, because people have identified themselves as success being how many zeros and decimal points represent you in some fiduciary institution, which, by the way, as soon as you put your money in it, it's not yours anymore, it's theirs. So like there's a whole scheme.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, like always take a step back when you want to blame something. Well, where'd that come from? Well, then what's the end game? So then all of these little things that we're bitching about become superfluous symptoms of the root problem, which is identifying with the wrong thing and going down the wrong road to fake success because
Yeah.
that's what they told you. Because that's what you see on the screen. Oh, boring. Fucking bored, man. Like they say, the world is overpopulated. Okay, well, if everybody had a consciousness shift and we're actually accountable for their state of being and we're responsible for keeping this beautiful earth beautiful and clean, then maybe non-human cultures would invite us to populate other planets because, they have something there. Not only do they have an array of emotions, which most of us don't, they're actually creating consciously based in love, not greed. Wow, let's have them to dinner. Like, who the hell wants a bunch of angry monkeys in your house? They'll throw shit on your
Right.
wall. Like,
Yeah.
what?
We self destruct our own planet and self destruct us.
Well, self-destructing themselves. To what end? Like, why? Who told you you're supposed to self-destruct?
Yeah.
Like, and why are you listening to them? There's a better question. Why are you even listening to it? It doesn't make
You know,
sense.
I ask that every day when I watch the news, the national news. Why do people follow
Stop.
that? Yeah. It's just like, why?
Because people like to get scared. It's the same thing. People love horror movies. They love gore. They love to see ugly things. Because I don't know, maybe they use it as a gauge to define themselves as superior. Because I don't do shit like that. Like watching the news. I don't know. Maybe It's all about how we've been taught to identify. I really feel like it goes back to the very, 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 we were our own enemy, right? Because we're not aware, because we don't know that we don't know. Soon as you know that you know, or soon as you know that you don't know, right there, you're accountable. So what are you going to do? Stay stupid, stuck, uninformed because it's easier? Like, where does everybody take accountability for their own laziness?
We don't.
Well, then why are we pointing our fingers outside anywhere till we stop being lazy? Like, it's
Because
all,
it makes us
we
feel
all
good.
well, okay, so a collective that is lazy and just wants to feel good all the time because they're being stimulated by an outside third party, and you wonder why the deep state or whoever the fuck it is, 3 people are doing whatever the fuck they want to do because we're busy being
Right.
I have no word. It's turned into a raspberry and crossed eyes. Oh, now she becomes inarticulate when she gets.
How else can you put it? Because I mean, I've seen stuff that I'm like, really, and you're selling that, and people are buying it, and people don't question it. It's like, what's wrong with
But
you
how
all?
can anybody? But see, the thing is if people would occupy their minds, literally, with what are you occupying your mind? Good God, what is going on in there? What are you paying attention to? What are you paying attention? Thanks, Mom.
And you know what I think sometimes I see in people's minds is the damn roadrunner and a coyote.
It does revolve around beliefs. That's right. It evolves around. I can't talk. The actress who couldn't speak. But right. Peter Piper picked up peppers. Okay. It evolves around belief. If we could throw all beliefs out, well, yes, and have the one connection, and then belief systems would be based on some kind of truth, not fragmentation and half truth. Tabitha.
I know, right?
Right? Like, so, you've got people like, I don't know, you've got these people who have PhDs, and you have people who are far more well-read than I. You've got people who are far more articulate and educated. Like, that's redundant, but you guys get what I'm saying. So right. Why does the pothead with a 9th grade education, who nobody, I don't know, I'm not going to say who nobody, because now I'm making things up for other people. Why does, like, there's why am I identifying that? The story that people tell, the pothead actress, high school not graduate, like all these things. I don't give a shit. Like, it doesn't change who I am. But all the people out there who are still stuck in this modality all go, oh, well, no, you can't have this job. We need you to have a bachelor's degree and a this and a that. And like, how about, like, my mind probably works better than half the people who are formally educated. You guys are missing. Like, does that mean I'm a self-bloated ego, like, puffy person? No, it just means I know how to think, because that's what my mama taught me. My mama gave me a better education than any school just by being who she was.
Yeah. BS degrees, right?
Knowledge is hidden. Well, but again, my point. If knowledge were available and we were taught what to do with it, Joe Dispenza, Billy Carson, Greg Braden, Bruce Lipton, Jack Cornfield, Nassim Haramein, Andre Duquesne, Lex Friedman, although he's,
that's why I homeschool my children.
Right.
Yeah.
You can teach the children everything that they indoctrinate us with at school, but also fill that in with the truth. So they've got a well-rounded education. My mom never did anything better for me than to toss me into the Rudolf Steiner school. Had I not gone to that school, I don't even know where I would be right now. So grateful for that way of educating in a holistic manner. Everybody thinks eurythmy is weird. Yeah, but moving, speaking, making sounds, it sure made my light language fits a lot less weird to me. I stopped posting them every day because I just wasn't sure what good it was doing. I still do it every day. I just don't videotape it, but I definitely start my days like that.
But see, this is where we talked about off screen. It's that where you are doing that people do not have enough courage to come forward and participate, that you're making a difference in showing them the way.
Well, and see, that's it. Like, I went to my Writing the Frequency channel and I was like, oh yeah, I made all of my light language videos private. And I don't even know like why I had a moment, where I just felt super uncomfortable having that out there. But I've got my regressions out there where I talk about being a dragon. So, hey, like,
Well,
what?
I mean,
originally I really wanted that channel to be something where I could interview Greg Braden and Joe Dispenza and all those people. But, at this point, they look to see what your following is. And when they see 136, see, this is what I'm saying. It's like, because they see what they see with their eyes, they make their assumptions and have no idea who I am or if I could even conduct an intelligent interview with these people. Like, I don't know if I can either, because nobody's given me, except my friend Nate talking about ayahuasca, like something if you don't think you ever need to try it, you probably do. If you're scared of doing it, you probably should try it. Like,
yeah. See, and Joey says,
scared.
let's go be the dragons with you. See, Joey wants to be a dragon.
Oh, come on, Joey. Come be a dragon with me at Chiller Theater. I don't know if anybody of you guys are in New Jersey, or if see, I feel like the audience here could give a shit whether they've got John Cusack's autograph. Like, but then there's the audience who comes milling to New Jersey every November to go to Chiller Theater, where I will have a table. I don't know if I'm going to be next to John Cusack. I asked the owner, like, put me close to John. And maybe if you can't do that, then put me in the Willy Wonka room so I can give myself golden tickets all day. No, so not supposed to laugh at your own humor, Liane. Okay, Bill Maher does. He's doing
Wow,
right.
Yeah. Joey says, I'm halfway there with the tattoo, so I guess he's getting a dragon tattoo.
Oh, really? Should send a picture to Grizzly.
So yeah, we'll post it. So when you getting this table? What's the date on this?
Okay, so I've got a couple things coming up, which is weird,
right?
Because I very rarely do I make public appearances. So you got twofer in October. On the 11th of October, which is next Friday.
Yeah, it is.
Friday. That's this. I'm so bad. Like, I don't know what
this
day
Friday.
Well, that's one of the things that happened when I checked out of like mainstream. It's like, I don't care what does it matter what day it is? The sun came up. I'm breathing. I get through the day. I do my thing. Just because the day's name is Wednesday, Friday, Monday, like, it doesn't matter what the day is. Like, anyway, it doesn't matter. There's a dispensary here in New York on the Upper West Side on 66th Street called Flower Power Dispensers. Shout out to you guys. And my friend Amanda. Yes, we love Amanda. She's invited me to do an 80s night. So we're going to have a DJ. And maybe the DJ, maybe I should send him some of my music so he can spin it.
Yes.
Make his own mixes out of them. So can make some kind of like DJ Liane music meld.
Yes.
Oh, yes. Anyway, so that's the 11th, and that's on 66th Street. You can go to flowerpowerdispensers.com. And if that's something that you do, definitely check out their array of goods and goodies. But come see me. Come see me
That's
there.
awesome.
You're in Manhattan. And then the weekend of the 25th, 26th, and 27th, I'll be in Parsippany, New Jersey at the Parsippany Hilton for the Chiller Theater
Oh,
autographs
wow.
weekend. And honestly, I was talking with the owner, New Jersey, Parsippany, New
Yeah, it
Jersey.
is New Jersey. Yeah.
I was speaking with the owner, who's a lovely guy. He's actually an experiencer. And I've become very fond of Mr. Kevin Clement. Love that guy. Always very kind to me. First time I ever met him, I was, I get nervous at these things. Like I walked in and I walked to the table and I wanted to say thank you. And this big dude, like he's just sitting there behind the table, looks up at, and I said, "Hi, are you Kevin?" He said, "Yes, I am." I said, "I'm Liane Curtis." Not nice to meet you, not hi, welcome, nothing. He just looks at me, his head cocks to the side, and he says, "Your dad loved you so much." And I was so taken aback, and like consequently, I've spoken with him about his experiences and stuff. So it makes total sense to me now that the first words uttered were that. So what was my response? I walked up to a totally strange, straight dude, went and sat right on his lap, gave him a big hug, and put my head on his chest and just sat there for a minute and said, "Thank you. I don't know what made you say that, but thank you." So,
Oh.
I love that guy. He's a very special. So, yeah, I'm going to actually, he said what would make him happy is if I found something that my dad signed, and I could bring that to him for his collection. I said, okay, I'll do that. Like very rarely do I part with original anything from my dad, anything, because I have so little.
Right.
So anyway, so that's going to be, and here's the, I'm so excited about this. Like, this is what I used to do for my daughter all the time. I would, get her CDs made. Like when I was managing her, there was this CD, and then there was this CD, and then there's this CD, like all of them. So when I started writing music, I thought, well, why are you writing this stuff? I said, well, maybe you should really push past your comfort zone and release it because you know how to do it, because that's what you're doing for Jack. So why don't you do it for yourself? Like you learned how to do it. Do it. Okay. So I was on the phone with somebody, and it dawned on me that maybe for the weekend I should see if I can. So I got 100 CDs made because I've got a new song coming out on Halloween called Lunatics. And I decided to make a 6-song EP called Lunatics with all 5 songs that are up and out on Spotify. And I added Lunatics right in there in the middle. So they're in a little bit of a different order than what is on Spotify. And so, yeah, like, I don't know. I could probably, I don't know how to show you the PDF.
Lorna said she loves your top that you're wearing, by the way.
Oh, it's 3 different tops. It's a jog bra from Aritzia. My daughter works at Aritzia. Not that like for anybody who's like into. Never mind. Anyway, so it was my little shopping spree for my birthday. Not this year, but the year before. She took me shopping and got me stuff. Like it's nice when your daughter takes you shopping. Like I took her shopping. Awful. She also raided my wardrobe. Like there's a dress I'll never be able to wear again because she wore it on American Idol, and now everybody thinks I'm wearing her clothes. I'm like, yeah.
Oh.
Whoa. Anyway, yeah. So then there's another little like shirt underneath that's, and then there's this long one, so it's 3 different layers. So thank you. It was either that or I had this nice, what they call upscale silk green shirt that I was going to wear. And I thought, it's just a little too uptight for Grizzly and Bigfoot. We'll save the silk for
never. So let's see.
I might like you better if we slept together. No, never say never. Who was
And
that
don't
artist?
forget, ladies and gentlemen, I've got all of her links in the comments and also down there on YouTube in the description. Check them out. Check out her songs. I mean, look at everything she's got.
Look,
Yeah, see, I like that.
it's my little smoking jacket. No, it's not. Maybe
See?
I'll wear this one at Chiller. I don't know.
There you go.
No, I was more in a lacy mood because I can be a little spicy sometimes. So I figured, we'll soften it up with a little little lace.
See, look, Lorna says, "Oh, that's so cute."
Oh, thank you.
So yeah, you got a lot of things coming up, and something else that we talked about behind the scenes. You paint.
I do. All of the artwork on the music. See, there you go. It's like it's an exercise in megalomaniacal behavior. That's the one thing you run into, like with these people in Hollywood a lot that you hear about. Like there are some who are like that, Then there are some who are really, really kind and just really do good work, And I want to shout out to all those people because I feel like everybody spends a whole lot of time knocking Hollywood for the craziness. But anyway, so yes, I do. Oh, the glare is probably not.
Oh, wow. That is cool. That is cool.
So there are those two. And I've made magnets out of all of these. So I've got prints that I'll be selling.
That is really cool. Let me see if I can do one bigger here. Let me see if I can do this. There we go. It's even better. Now, we also talk about you do murals too, don't you, right?
Do I what?
You paint murals too?
Oh, I can. Yeah, I do. For murals, I'm going to have to take you into the other. We've got to go in the foyer for the mural. I do. Like if somebody were to want to send me a photo of themselves and I don't know.
Oh, that is neat.
Neil Gore, and that's my friend Leah, who's no longer with us.
Oh.
I took that from an 8x10. Anyway, so yeah, murals. Let's go into the dark room. No. My mother loved to decorate things like, well, it's like early Spanish dungeon. Everything my mom did was very austere. Anyway, so I was feeling kind of bad one day, and I decided to do some neurographic drawing on the wall. Because that's what children are told not to do. So what does Liane do? Go draw on the fucking wall. So yeah, like I hire myself out to do these things. If anybody wants some kind of an accent wall or a door like that, it's kind of expensive. Like that would probably cost $1,000 because of what it does to my hands and my arms.
Well, yeah, I can imagine.
It hurts to draw, but I like doing it. So
that's pretty cool.
Here, just to telling you, early Spanish dungeon. That's the dining room.
Oh wow!
Yeah, we had some serious parties. I don't know. This might not be to anybody's taste, but like that's one of the ones I'm working on right now. My birds. Anyway, let's go back to the den. It's better in the den.
Joey wants to know: have you watched any of your movies with any of your family members or daughters or kids?
When Girlfriend from Hell came out on Blu-ray, I think we all sat down and watched that. I had a Blu-ray Girlfriend from Hell party, but I don't know if you can see up there.
Oh yeah.
That's a game. It's called Clipology. You can probably find it online, but like I think, and I've played it a couple of times. Like there's a 16 Candles clip in there, but we've never
Really?
And right, I've never gotten to because I have to play that game more.
Wow.
24 hour in the day, so I can have an hour a day to play Clipology.
Clipology, I have to check that out.
Yeah.
So how do people buy your artwork and your? So you making prints off that too? You said.
Yeah, I'm making prints, and I've got magnets. What did I do with the shoebox? Oh, yeah, I put it right here so it would be close, and then forgot where it was. My refrigerator magnets. I'll have those for sale. But again, it's like the audience at the place, like they buy things like this. Like you autograph that.
Oh yeah, okay.
So that's the audience I'm dealing with. So when I have my little box out, that sounded completely inappropriate.
Oh, I see. Yes, okay.
Right. So I have that on my table, and then I've got all the little magnets in there. So, but that's 1 for $6, 2 for $10, a set for $40.
Golly, that's cheap.
So maybe you should be my business manager. I don't know what price.
Yeah, that's cheap. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, step right up here. No,
right?
I want to buy some.
Listen to him, how much it costs.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I'm like, that's cheap. What's that?
Well, see, like I would rather sell 100 things for less money than sell zero for too much. Well put, Grizz. Yeah, Joey, you tell him.
So, but yeah, but no, I would definitely buy some of that stuff because I mean, I've seen because you did your artwork for the Alien song, didn't you?
Yeah, all that stuff in there is mine, and it was my pet mantises that I had taken pictures of, and then that one thing, like I don't know who to credit for, but like that one shot of David Icke holding up the lizard, and it says David Icke was right. So whoever put that photo up, like, come find me, don't sue me, please don't make me take it out of the video. I like it.
So how does everybody find you to buy your artwork? And we got all your music links out there, ladies and gentlemen. I put them out there again in the comments. You check them out because your music's how much you said? I forgot. You were telling me.
It's okay. No. Like on the website, like you can download each song. I think I put them at a $1.29 price point.
Yeah.
And my mom's little EP, I was selling the downloads of the 5 songs for $5.55. I haven't made any hard goods of her stuff. My EP will be selling for $15. And I'll have to load it into my store. And maybe this means I have to, now I have to stop what I'm doing, go work on my website. Oh, it's just
right.
I need to clone myself like 5 times and make one of them sit down and just run the online everything. The other one can go shopping. Then I can just chill out and make my music and my art. And then all the other 4 Lianes can.
Isn't that the truth? Yeah. Isn't that the truth?
That'd be great.
And how does everybody find you to purchase your artwork and everything?
Oh my God, you keep saying that, and I don't know. Like I would think, like, see, okay, here I've got a LianeCurtis.com website that keeps saying coming soon because my clone is misbehaving, not doing her job. And I will try to put them up and figure out how to get them in the store on the website. I'm going to try to link Liane Curtis to Jerubi Records because so stupid. I can't have 2 websites with 2 different stores. I'm going to go crazy. Like if I have too many, it's like having too many windows open in your computer and then you don't know, it's too much. So I'm still trying to figure out how to streamline all of it. But eventually there'll be a way to do that from my websites, the Jerubi Records.
Or is it possible? Do you have like your Venmo and your Zelle and all that? Right? This is like send you $50 and you can like mail them like 4 prints.
Yeah, I would do that. Like I could probably do that. I could probably set something up on the LianeCurtis.com. I can have like an art web page and say to purchase, please email me.
Okay, yeah.
Out how to Venmo because I've got Venmo and I've got Zelle. I prefer Zelle.
Yes. Okay.
Probably just because I'm more accustomed to
look at that. They're like, Grizzly, get the job.
Yeah, seriously, man. Like I need somebody to help me. Like I wish you were a theatrical agent because honestly, like now that I'm a little more level, I think I would do better out in the auditioning world because I don't think I would approach it the way I did when I was.
Oh, I would push you.
Going crazy. You know, right? Like.
Yeah, I would
I
push
wish
you.
my old agent would sell me his franchise. There's this old dude. He's got the Artist Agency East. Does somebody, Daddy, want to buy me an agency?
Yeah, right.
I can handle. I can be my own best client. It'll be fabulous.
Yeah. But ladies and gentlemen, make sure and check her out. And I'm definitely going to go out there and find some stuff. But anything else you want to say before we wrap up, Lady Liane Curtis?
I love you. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for giving me.
Yeah. What are we going to do for next week? Any ideas?
Well, I don't know. Are we doing this every week?
Yeah, it's your show.
What?
Yes, it's your show.
You mean I have my own show?
Yes.
Well, I don't know. Let's call Greg Braden and find out if he wants to come talk to me.
All right. So there we go. I'm going to have to make some phone calls.
DM Greg Braden and tell him he needs to talk to me. Maybe that's what we do. We set our audience on these guys and say, we really need you to talk to her because she's a little kooky.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, start messaging.
You have a job. You all have a job.
Yes. Help us out. Evidently. So I'm going to New Orleans this weekend. So between now and then, I'll start making some messages and some phone calls on that.
Yeah, we better start talking some
I will.
Creole. Then we can have a conversation that nobody understands. It'll be cool.
Yeah, yep.
I can speak real French. Well, okay, that's insulting. I don't mean to be insulting. I can speak conventional French. Let's call it that.
I can.
All these adjectives are so annoying.
That's funny.
I didn't understand it either. Query.
It's just, I know, right? It always talks.
So weary of Siri. Oh. I've grown weary of Siri. La la.
Yeah, right.
Don't need to buy my songs.
We'll figure something out for sure. But you're going to work on your website, right?
Yes, sir. I will. Oh, I bought some singing bowls. I did. I got a set of singing bowls. So maybe we can play with those one week.
Yes.
Some sound frequencies.
That would be awesome. Because I have one. Mine's 432 hertz. Mine's a crystal.
Mine are too. I got the 432 hertz set.
Yes. It's wonderful.
They're not. I don't know what kind of quality they are. I mean, there are people like Ben Carroll who do this for his whole thing, and he says, go to this place and one bowl is $1,800. I'm like, I can't do that. So I got a whole set for $49. So who knows what the quality is, but
wow.
Hopefully it's not detrimentally noticeable or does anything weird, that I didn't go to this special crystal, it's frosted crystal. It's the first set. You don't buy an amazing expensive set for the first set. So there you go. It's my practice set.
No, I love mine. So that, and I've got my tuning forks. You got to get a set of forks. Forks.
I wish I had done that. So see, here we go. It's I wish I had done that for my mom. I thought about it, but didn't know exactly how to go about it or get them or what to do. And then I just didn't. So it's okay. Next time around, we'll remember.
Right. All right. So I got some homework. You got some homework.
I do.
We're going to get some, and we'll get our bowls out.
Audience, your homework is to remember who you are and stop describing yourselves by what you do. And come back next week and tell us if that did anything.
Right. And we're going to fill your breath, right?
Fill my breasts? I thought
breath.
What are you talking about?
Breath.
Feel your breath, man. Your southern accent.
She said breast.
You said I want to feel your breasts.
And ladies and gentlemen,
not that kind of show, Grizzly. Stop it.
We got a show coming up at 7:00. Make sure to tune in and from coast to coast around the world.
And
I love you,
Leanne. Your breathaces. Come out your nose. Breathaces, not the other.
We'll see you on the next show. Thanks to the Lady Ann. Bye-bye.